right? Let's find out why your brains and your general setup might work the way it does. The new insights into the teen's brain might help explain why efforts to protect young drivers, ranging from driver education to laws that restrict teen driving, have had only modest success. With the judgment center of the teen brain not fully developed, parents and states must struggle to instill decision-making skills in still immature drivers. In nearly every state, 16-year-old drivers face limits known as graduated licensing rules, which is exactly what we have in place, right? Like you have to log so many hours, you can only have so many people in your car at certain times, you can't be driving at night. But typically, they bar 16-year-olds from carrying other teen passengers, driving at night, or driving alone until they have driven a certain number of hours under parental supervision. It's a lot easier to follow along if you're looking at your screen. These states have, in effect, already raised their driving age. Safety experts say lives have been saved as a result, but it's mostly left to parents to enforce the restrictions, and the evidence suggests enforcement has been weak. Teens probably appear to their parents at the dinner table to be more in control than they are behind the wheel. They might recite perfectly the risk of speeding, drinking and driving, or distractions, such as carrying passengers or talking on a cell phone, Geet says. But their brains are built to learn more from example. For teenagers, years of watching parents drive after downing a few glasses of wine or while chatting on a cell phone might have a deeper imprint than a lecture from a driver education teacher. The brain research raises this question: how well can teen brains respond to the stresses of driving? More research on teen driving decisions is needed, safety advocates say, before definitive conclusions can be drawn. And more public support is probably needed before politicians more seriously consider raising the driving age. In the 1980s, Congress pressured states to raise their legal age to buy alcohol to 21. The goal was to stop teens from crossing borders to buy alcohol after reports of drunken teens dying in auto crashes. Fueled by groups such as Mothers Against Drunk Driving, public support for stricter laws grew until Congress forced a rise in the drinking age. Those laws have saved an estimated 20,000 lives in the past 20 years. Yet, safety advocates say politicians remain generally unwilling to raise the driving age. If this were forced on the states, it would not be accepted very well, Harsha says. What it usually takes for politicians to change their minds is a series of crashes involving young people. When enough of these kind of things happen, then politicians are more likely to be open to other suggestions. Again, you need to be looking at your screen, not chatting with each other. Cool? Okay, can't make that more clear. You know I'm talking to you as well. Instead of me having to worry about you two glancing up at each other, follow along. Natalie, here's the deal. My brain, okay, right, brain, is definitely closer to the site. The only issue is that on my right prefrontal cortex, I know it's overdeveloped, and that's what leads to my ADHD, is that I can watch several things going on all at once, and none of them distract me because I can continue to work ahead. So I'm taking a moment now just to remind you to, instead of chatting across with each other, following along will be helpful.
I was actually making a comment to you.
Okay, you were. I wasn't chatting with you, though. You're good this time. But actually nothing. We're good. We're just moving forward, okay? I'm not mad at you. It's just a redirection. It's not a it's not about no, I don't know. I don't know your brain. We're moving on, okay? Just let me redirect you so that you can move forward. All right. So looking at consequences of this, the author says that more research definitely needs to be done, which is one thing we can do. Can we go and look up updated information at the National Institute of Health with teen driving? Or you probably yes, because remember, this is from 2013 or from 2004. So let's go in NIH, and I really have not even searched this yet. It's just on my notes to make sure to do. Self-driving for distracted teens. Huh, look at that. Teen crash risk highest during first 3 months after. When is that published? What's that say? 2018. Look at that. So this is still something they're researching, isn't it? SBSB Research, Teen Driving Risk Studies, National Institute of Health. September 21st, 2020. Science update. Frequent driving practice linked to lower. Oh, look at this. So we go down a little bit further. Frequent driving practice linked to lower crash risk among teen drivers. So just like we were saying before, if a teen gets to drive more, are they less likely to be in an accident according to this title? Yeah. So can I actually go and find updated information on this exact same topic? Yes, I can. That's the advantage of reading some older articles. Maybe we just need to update the information because they're still studying brains. That's why I also told you maybe in some of your cases that you've already turned in your work, and I appreciate you getting finished with the evidence, but maybe you don't have a clear view of the evidence yet. Does that make sense? Okay, so if I go to a different website with the NIH instead of this article, and don't worry, we will come back to these articles, so don't necessarily go to them yet. If you go to them, that's fine if you want to look at them, but we will look at a few of these articles in order to update our information. It's one of the things that I have on my notes to do, okay? Now, you have the rest of the hour to do your research and to gather more evidence out of the article you have. Questions before you get started about the article, because I can answer other questions. Maybe you have questions about ADHD or about brains or whatever. Connie, what you got? Well, I am going to, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to cover with Taylor that, and with everyone, the bibliographic information. It is a mouthful.
And do you recommend if I show him around?
I believe everyone has already shown him around a great deal.